In this video, I'm going to be going over how I got to this end stage of this paper, how I got from initial conceptualization, idea formulation, all the way through to final publication. And as you'll see with this timeline, it was a bit of a lengthy process. It all started in 2013 when I began attending Claremont Graduate University. I went for a master's in positive psychology, but it came with this co-concentration in evaluation. And I went in having no idea what evaluation is, but on day one, I found out what evaluation was, and I was like, oh, this is the name to the thing that I always wanted to do and why I was going into positive psychology in that case. But it was to make a difference in educational programs, and evaluation I found was the way that I could do it. And so from day one, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And so I'm taking all these evaluation courses, including Foundations of Evaluation. And in it, we're covering things like the differences between evaluation and research, among a multitude of other things. But it was that topic that I just kept kind of going back to because it didn't quite click for me. It took a while for me to really understand what are the differences. I later found out that this is not a me issue, right? It's a field issue, but I just kept thinking about this and really struggling with thinking through this because I wanted that clear delineation, which, spoiler alert, there is not one, but I wanted to be able to wrap my head around this a little bit better. So 2 years later, I finished my master's degree program. I continue at Claremont to get my PhD in evaluation. I am continuing to take a lot of evaluation courses. I am getting a lot of experience in the field conducting evaluation. I'm getting ready to do research as well through my thesis and dissertation. And I'm still wondering about this question. So throughout this process, I had been writing it down a lot of notes and ideas for potential thesis topics. And this wasn't my thesis topic. I ended up doing something different, but it just kept kind of slowly burning in the back of my head. And so in 2017, I got really interested in blogging. That's when my blogging journey really began. And I wrote a blog post called Evaluation is Not Applied Research. This is probably my most popular blog post to date, probably because this is a perennial issue to the field of evaluation and to evaluators alike. So I got a lot of feedback, a lot of comments, a lot of good job. And I wanted to do more with this. And so I kept thinking about this, how can I turn this into a paper? In 2018, I began working on that paper. I got IRB approval, I collected data, I began writing up the manuscript for publication, and about a year later, I submitted the paper for publication at the American Journal of Evaluation in September. I got a revise and resubmit. 2 months later, I took a month to make those revisions and resubmit in end of December. I then got another revise and resubmit in March. I was able to quickly turn those around because that was a quick decision, very small, minor changes that they were looking for. And so then a month later, end of March, I got an accepted decision. They went through copyright and, copy editing, there we go, and proofs, and end of April, those were all done. And then it took a few months. There were some kind of background logistical things happening at the journal at the time that it just took a while. And then it went online first in October of 2020. And then in March 2021, it was published in the volume 42, issue number 1. And so you'll see that this was a, 8-year journey from start to finish, maybe 7.5-year journey, but a long journey from start to finish. And even from actually starting the paper to finishing and publication, that was still 3 years of, start to finish. So hopefully this helps illuminate the kind of the lengthiness of the publication process and how that works, but also thinking about that idea formulation and conceptualization, and how sometimes it does take a little bit longer to really think about those ideas. Or at least maybe it took a lot longer because at the time I was a budding new graduate student. So if you have any questions, I would love your questions or comments. Comment below on the video. Thank you so much.